Hey folks, so today I'm just going to show you quickly how you can set up your Google Drive settings so that when you upload Office files to any part of Google Drive, they are automatically converted into Google Docs format. The benefit to this is it makes it a lot easier to collaborate with colleagues. It makes it so that you don't have to do the few extra steps you'd have to do if you were to turn these files into tasks for students. And lastly, it makes it a little bit easier to share things and make sure that when people access those things, they are up to date with whatever the newest revisions are on that source file. So let's get to it. First, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you don't have that setting on, and then I'm going to show you how turning that setting on changes the way that Google Drive works. And we're also going to, in that process, I'll also show you the different ways to kind of share things with people after the fact. So let's first look at Drive. Okay, so this is just a sample folder in Drive. It really could be anywhere, but I just wanted to use an empty folder to demonstrate this. So let's just get to it. So let's say we have some Word documents right now. The setting is off, and I'll show you how to access that in a second. So let's go to, we're in wherever we want to upload these files to. So we would go New, File Upload, and I'm just going to grab some random Word document that's in my downloads. Here we go, this will work. And when this uploads the first time, you'll see it uploading in the bottom right. And when it finishes, you'll see it's .docx format, and also the icon here is a blue W. Some people might see this in the panel view. That's what it would look like in the panel view. And if you want to switch between this view, which gives you that visual preview, and the list view, that just gives you the names, which is more similar to a file browser. You just click on this icon next to the I in the corner. Okay, so here it is. It's a Word file. Now let's trigger that setting on and then upload it again and see what happens. So to make Drive convert any Office file, which would be PowerPoint, Excel, Word, automatically into the Google Docs versions, which would be Slides, Sheets, and Google Docs, you would go into your settings. So the way that you do that, same as any other application through Google, is you look for this gear icon, click on it, and in this case you want to click Settings. Now there's a whole bunch of other settings for Drive available here too, which you might not have known about. Some of these can help you just change the way that that Drive is presented. Feel free to thumb around with those if you want to. However, the one we're looking for today is this one, Convert Uploads. So this is really just a flag, meaning it's either on or it's off. So all we have to do to get Google to convert any Office file directly into Google format of that same file is click this checkbox, which next to it says Convert Uploaded Files to Google Docs Editor Format. Then anytime we upload any Office file, it will convert that automatically without us having to open the file and then save as Google Docs or do any of those extra steps. So it's just a nice little thing, saves a little bit of time. Let's see what that looks like. So again, this is the original Word file. We're going to upload it again and see what the difference is. So we're going to New, File Upload. We're looking for that Science Investigation. Select it or double click on it, or select it and hit Open. It's uploading in the bottom corner. That might take a few more moments than just uploading the Word version, without the conversion. But as you can see, that was pretty quick. So what we notice is now it's labeled Science Investigation 1. That 1 only appears because this Science Investigation file name is already in here. So it's just, that's where it comes from. If this wasn't in here, you wouldn't have that number. You'll also notice that the .docx is not in the name of the converted file. and that the icon is different. This blue box with just the lines indicates that it is Google Docs format. So now let's look at what's different. So if we look in the original Word file, let's double click on it. Normally when you double click on a file in Google, it will just go straight into the editing view for that file. Because Word is not native to Google, it may open up a preview like this. Now I have Word installed on my desktop. This is my home computer. So it does give me the option to open with Word, but we really want to avoid that in this case. We would open with Google Docs, and this is just how you would open it if it was still formatted as an Office document. And you can see it takes a couple steps to do that. And also, there's some features, let me just do that again real quick. There's some features that you don't have access to or that you can't use really well when it's in that .docx format, right? So one of those is provisioning it as a task or an assignment in Google Classroom. It really doesn't work if it's in a .docx format. So we want to not have anything in a .docx format if it's in our drive, because that limits what we can do with it. So alternative to that, we really don't want to use this one. We're going to go into the Google Docs version. I'll show you how it's a little bit easier. So we'll double click on the converted file. It opens up without me having to select any menus. And we are good to go. We can edit this, we can make changes however we want. Now, a couple things with sharing. What this saves is the need to send, so if you're sharing with people, it saves having to attach something to an email and send it back and forth and having to do that multiple times. And keeping it native in Google Docs allows us to have a bit more freedom with how we do that, right? So sharing your normal share with a person, you can type in, when you share with people in groups, you can type in any email address. If that person has a Google account, they will be able to access it. You might get a pop-up asking you whether or not you want to share outside the domain. Let me show you what that looks like. Right, so this is just my personal email. You click send. You get something like this. Just be careful that if you share anything outside of our domain, that it doesn't have any student information. We by law cannot do that. That would be like ID numbers, home addresses, phone numbers, etc. So just be careful about that. But in this case, this is just an instructional document. It wouldn't really matter so much, but I am going to hit cancel because I don't want my personal email on here. Another way to give people access to a document is through GetLink. Just keep in mind that you have 3 different levels here. Restricted means only the people that we've added up top can access it through the link. High School of Commerce means anybody who signed in with a G Suite domain account can access the file through this link. And then obviously anyone with link would be anybody you send that link to can access it regardless of whether they're in this group or in our G Suite. The only other thing to mention there is then you have these different levels of permission. Viewer, commenter is someone who can view but also add comments to a file. It's a good way to get feedback on a document without letting people go in and edit. There's other features that work to do collaborative editing, but I'll talk about that in the future. And then obviously editor gives somebody full access to edit, change, delete things in a document. So just be cognizant of those, the difference between those. And then you just copy this link and go and paste it into email and send it along to whoever needs it. That's a lot easier than having to download a docx file every single time and send it along. Though, sometimes you may want to, say you type up a letter and you want to post it somewhere. The suggestion I would make for that, anytime you want to share a document to make sure to parents or families or students, as a notice, like a letter or a newsletter or something like that you do once and it doesn't change. You can download that file as PDF and it will appear the same way that it looks in this file. The way you would do that is File, Download, and you'd select PDF. This is also where you could still export it as a docx file. I would just suggest against that, unless you only want the people you're sharing it with to just see that file in the state that it's in at the time that you export it. If you want to share a file with somebody so that they can see changes as you go along, there are better ways to do that. I kind of walked through some of them just a second ago. Use that share button really to do that the best way. So with that, there's your automatic conversion, how to share different files through Google, through Google Drive, how to get them to convert when they upload automatically, and then how you not only still have the same ways of being able to share those files, but you have even better ways on how to build and work collaboratively with people in that platform. So if you have any of these old docx files sitting around and you want to just convert them, you can always select them all. You can download them if you don't have them on your laptop. If you use a bunch of them, it gives you them in a zip file. You have to unzip them and then do this next piece, which is just turn on the setting to convert uploaded files, and then just re-upload them. It'll convert it for you. That's just a way to do it. Or if you have them on your laptop, maybe take these old Word files, create a folder that says like Word files or Word versions, and then just re-upload everything, and it will convert it for you. It saves you a bunch of time, and you still have the same level of access to things. So with that, that's it for this. See ya.